Welcome to the Dawgs Table. Hosted by Craig Fountain and Jared Fatty Bates. Get access to special guests, anyone can join the Dawgs Table. Find the link to join the show in the comments when we go live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Periscope, and everywhere on the Big Play Network. Here's your hosts, Craig Fountain and Jared Fatty Bates.
What is going on, everybody? I am that fat guy, Jared. Craig is MIA this week. He's got some family stuff going on right now, so we got to send our prayers and love out to Craig. So I'm in charge of the Dawgs Table tonight, and I got to bring in a very special guest host with me right now. I got to bring in my man, my big fella, my Big Bry. Big Bry, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, what's up?
Oh, not much. Welcome to the Dawgs Table. For those of you that do not know, Big Bry is my co-host for Legal Ham to the Face, and we do a show every Tuesday before this, and I asked him to please help out and come on and have some fun with us. So we will see how he does tonight, but he is one of the biggest Browns fans I know. So we'll see how he does. Also, we have our first guest. Always love having him on. I believe BJ's here. BJ's here. What's going on, BJ?
What's up?
All right, there he is. How you doing, bud?
I'm just making I can't stay long.
Okay. So we're going to get here quickly into the Browns' first preseason game, and bear with me because I am doing this all on my own right now. Normally I have somebody else, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on the Jags game. So BJ, let's go with you first because you got to get out of here. But what do you think about the Jacksonville game, bud? Do we still have BJ?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. What do you think of the Jags game?
I think JOK had a great game. Preseason, I don't get excited really too much about that. I do like the fact that we sacked Goldilocks a couple times.
Yeah, that always feels good. That always. I had Craig's brother French reached out to me, who's a huge Jags fan, and I'm like, can you imagine I am the only one that has not gave you shit yet for sacking Sunshine with our second string? And then he kind of just, I'm like, I'll just be quiet. I'll sit over here in the corner.
Very first play.
You seen what I was posting? I kept posting pictures of him being sacked.
I know, and all I could do was giggle. Liz, hello. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, this is a fan stream, so we are all fans of the Browns. All right.
Sure.
If you want to come on, I put the links up in the comments for all of our Facebook, even on Big Play. I forgot to say we're on Big Play right now, Bri.
Okay.
So if you guys want to join, come in, have fun with us, come eat at the table is what we always like to say. Peoples Jones. Here is Brian. Peoples Jones is what Odell wants to be. Here we go already with Peoples Jones. Here you go, Brian. You gotta love that, right?
The hype is out of control on Peoples Jones.
It's unreal, right?
Yeah,
Unreal,
I'll take
right?
it.
We are so deep at wide receiver right now.
All right, so I got to ask you before we get into anything else. BJ, do you think that Hollywood has lost his third spot because of DPJ?
Unfortunately, probably, yeah. I mean, I just think Beckham's clogging it all up, man. Got to get rid of him.
All right, well, what about you, Bri?
Yeah, I would agree that I think Peoples Jones has passed Higgins by, because it was pretty apparent there in that first quarter that they tried to get him the ball as much as possible. I think he had like 5 targets. Very first play completion, it was like a skinny post to him, and Higgins wasn't involved a whole lot. Now maybe that's because Higgins was a little more of a veteran, but as soon as Peoples Jones had a couple of series, got some good work in, they got him out of there, and Higgins was still in there into the second quarter. So I think it was natural progression, because Peoples Jones just has a higher ceiling. He's a better athlete. He does a great job catching the ball. And Higgins is, even though we love him and he's great, he's kind of limited in what his role is. So either way, we got 4 great receivers. That's not a bad problem to have.
What's really nice being on this side is I got to do this because the man has chimed in. Big Play Dave chimed in and said, if you had to power rank the wide receivers right now, what's your order? So I'm going to go Big Bri first. Big Bri, power rank your Cleveland Browns wide receivers.
It's hard. I know it's easy to hate on him now because he hasn't really given us his production, and he was hurt last year. But Odell has the highest ceiling. We're just waiting to see what he has, and so I still have to put him 1. Jarvis is as steady as it comes. He's out there every single week, so he'll be my number 2, and then Peoples Jones 3, and Higgins 4, and if we want to go as deep as Cardale Hodge, I'd put him at 5 right now, because we don't know what we have with Schwartz. Hopefully he gets on the field, but right now he's just a fast dude.
Okay. BJ?
Odell's number 5.
Odell's number 5. There it is.
He hasn't done anything this decade. He's done since that one catch in New York. I mean, he hasn't done anything in Cleveland. He hasn't produced in Cleveland.
Oh, I hear you.
I get it.
How can you make him your number 1? Yeah, he has the ceiling. He's the best athlete. Well, so was Josh Gordon.
Oh,
right? Okay.
That is true. That's true.
Number one's Landry. The guy's done nothing but produce. He's played hurt, doesn't miss games. You can always count on him. Your number 2 is Higgins, because whatever you need to play, Higgins.
That's magic how they always find each other.
Chance they get the guy, chance he produces. He has never let us down. Right?
Right?
Peoples Jones. Okay.
Out
there producing. We've seen more out of Peoples Jones the past 10 games than we have OBJ. Am I wrong?
I get you.
4 out of last year. Right? Okay. Number 4, OBJ.
Okay.
Was that 4? Yeah, it was 4.
That's 4.
And then 5, whoever, Hodge or whoever's down there. But yeah, no, you can't put OBJs. I mean, yeah, he's your best receiver. It's done nothing. It's power rankings.
Well, I think
I'm
Liz
holding out hope.
Liz is on the same thing with you, and she even changed. She goes, "I changed my mind. Higgins second." I mean,
wow.
And also, we got to throw this one in here.
Jay's not the best. You can't argue you can't argue that because he is. The guy's a freak in nature, but so is Josh Gordon.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Josh Gordon was the best receiver in the NFL till he can't get his shit together. I mean, that one year he was the best receiver by far. He come in and just annihilated everybody.
Yeah, and he missed 4 games before that
because he can't stay away from the weed. That's it.
I think it's other things too.
Like he's doing the hard stuff. Like it's not even like he's chasing hookers and cocaine.
All right, there it is. There is our.
So 10 minutes to get to hookers and cocaine. Okay, that's not bad. That's better than what we usually do.
Yeah.
9:58. There it is. We also got to talk about this guy right here. Chris brought it up. Felton is a wide receiver too, and they focused on him and DPJ a lot during this preseason game. So, what are you guys' thoughts about Felton and how he did? I'll go Bri first. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. Bri, go first. And, well, Bri, you're the only one here. So,
well, okay. I guess I'll take all the time. Yeah, it was surprising to me that they leaned on him as much as they did, because it was very apparent that he was part of their game plan. And being a 6th-round pick, you don't know what you got. And we all thought he was going to be a running back, but that was maybe wrong in us, because what did they split him out every single time in the slot, or did they have him in the backfield at all?
They did not have him in the backfield at all. They had him out in the slot.
Didn't give him one carry, so he could be that gadget guy. There's been talk over the last couple weeks that they have him going half the days with the wide receivers and half the days with the running backs. So I think he's pretty firmly in their plans based on one game that, we might be, we obviously our running backs are good. We're set as long as there's not an injury. Who knows if they keep Johnson around, but 1 through 3 were pretty good. So Felton, yeah, let's see what we have with him. He was, what did he lead the Pac-12 in scrimmage yards last year? So he's a weapon. We'd be stupid not to try to use him. Now, once we get all our starters back, we might only be giving him 2, 3, 4 touches a game. But, if he could be like that Eric Metcalf guy going back to the 80s, why not use him?
Yeah. So Liz brought up, I will say this, for the first time, it's going to be difficult to cut down the roster.
Oh, yeah.
For once, we can be able, you only got 10 people here. Everybody else could go. Like, we're not there anymore. How awesome is that, Brian?
Right. We got, we're trying to squeeze it down to like 6 receivers. We're trying to squeeze it down to 3 running backs and maybe like 9 offensive linemen or 8 offensive linemen. And it's going to be tough, because we're going to be cutting a lot of good guys, and we're going to see something that we haven't seen in the past, where we cut guys and then they get immediately signed by another team because they're a damn good player.
Well, Justin could not find a game on anything, and he,
Hulu. Tell him to get Hulu.
He might need your help, Brian. Might need a little password, little help out here. All right, so Brian, let's get into this real quick. So my thoughts about the Jags game. Case Keenum was the actual starter. And I talked to you about this. I think he underthrew a lot of the wide receivers. Like, if he would have hit some of the wide receivers in stride, I think it would have been a whole different game. I also like our defensive line now. You got the fat boys in there eating. Like I told you earlier, like I saw Andrew Billings. I'm like, wow, that is a big dude. Like I didn't think he was that big.
6'1", 330. That's what that looks like.
Wow, really?
I believe so. I'm not sure, but something close.
Is it Farrell size?
Danny Shelton size, maybe? I don't know.
Shelton size. All right. Also got to bring up the 4th down stop. Now, I know it's preseason, but for your second team to go out there and get a 4th down stop, and they were trying to run, it was a 4th of 1 or 2, and they just ate it up. Like, and the other thing is, for everybody out there watching right now, and you can comment all you want to on this, we had 3 penalties. It was a professional team for once out on the field for the first preseason game. Soak that in for a second, people. It wasn't 14 penalties. It wasn't wide receivers. It wasn't timeouts. It was a well-oiled machine as soon as kickoff happened. Like, when was the last time that has happened for the Cleveland Browns?
You bring up the 4th down stop, which, yeah, in the preseason might not seem like a big deal, but that was one of our Achilles heels last year. We could not 3rd and 1. How many 4th downs did we give up last year that were just backbreakers? Chris
right here. Teams last year, 80% of 4th downs against us. That was a huge.
Yeah,
that stop. That's huge.
That's unheard of. How could a defense ever survive giving up 80% of fourth downs?
And by the way, Justin tried Hulu and nothing.
Oh,
So
they got NFL Network now, so there's a hot tip for you.
Justin, I'll hook you up here in a little bit.
And I've heard that you're able to stream it on your phone. How you do that, I don't know. You probably have to pay a crap ton of money.
Well, you got to go. So what I heard is you got to go off of Wi-Fi and do the LTE. Actually, ping it from the towers. You can stream it from your phone. So
okay,
I'm just saying. So Justin Masters chimed in. Last time he's seen it, 80s and Birdie. I can't argue.
Well,
can you argue that?
That was probably the biggest takeaway I had from the game. It wasn't one single player. It was everybody. And we were playing our second and third teams. And I know the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't that good, but they were playing a lot of their starters. And our second team beat their starters. Now, it might not seem like a big deal, but there's a pretty big gap between starters in the NFL and the backups. And so the fact that our coaching staff got our team ready to play, that was huge for me. That said it all, because in years past, I know it's an insignificant game and who cares who wins, but we were ready to go. You said 3 penalties. I don't think we had a turnover. And so the fact that our team showed up like that, even being the 20th through 50th best players on the team, we showed up and we beat them. That, to me, that points to the culture. That points to the turnaround that we've had in just 1 year. And that's the culture that Jacksonville doesn't have yet, because they have a first-year coach, and Urban Meyer has never coached an NFL game. So I feel stupid that I didn't put a crap ton of money on the Browns because Jacksonville was favored. But I expect more of the same from the game this week.
So Justin just chimed in. I'm cheap and trying to buy a house and in grad school. I ain't paying for that shit. All right. So
it's
Justin,
cheap.
Justin, can you do me a favor? Go download the Cleveland Browns app and you can listen to the 2 greatest. Call it Jimmy Donovan and Doug Deacon.
Yep.
And just listen to them.
Is that how you do it? Because I've tried to listen on like 92.3 and 850, and I can't do it.
I have it straight on the Cleveland Browns app. And so last time we were doing this, we were on our show, and I had to listen to the game as I was driving to Florida. Yeah. And that's how I did it. I actually listened to it on the phone through the Bluetooth and the speakers, told my kids to be quiet in the background, put their headphones on so I could listen to the game. So, yep. See, there it is. Listen on the app. So you can listen on the Cleveland Browns app.
There we go. Now we know.
All right. He's on the download now. Chris, we will get to JOK here in just a second, but we have to do something. Oh, there's Liz. Can we talk about the first sack on Sunshine? She says hippie. I say Sunshine. Welcome to the NFL. We joked around about this, Liz, a little bit on our show. That was against the second team defense. That's how bad this is. Like, if that was Myles Garrett or Clowney getting to that kid, I feel bad for that kid. But it is a welcome to the NFL. Brian, what was your take on Sunshine and how he did?
Well, and I told you earlier that the Browns have invested the second most amount of dollars in their offensive line. And the team that has invested the most is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Obviously, they're still up.
Right. It was a shock to me because I couldn't name maybe one. Norwell, I don't know if he still plays for them. I couldn't name one offensive lineman for Jacksonville. But like I said before, they played a lot of their starters. So the very first play of the game, they give up a sack, and Sheldon Day, was it, who got him?
Yep, Sheldon Day got
football, and then Porter Gustin got him later in the game.
So did JOK.
I mean, yeah, JOK with his delayed blitz. How could you want anything better from our defensive line and linebackers sacking the number 1 pick? It was awesome.
Well, Bri, we got to get into this portion of our show, and I got to bring up a video because we are going to do our Dogs of the Week. You ready for this?
Cool.
So our dogs of the week. Let me click off the other banner here. Our dogs of the week are brought to you by City Dogs of Cleveland and the Fringe Dog of Cleveland, and we are rolling back. I'm going to bring this up here, Bri. Raina. Raina is a female, 7 years old. All right, adoptable dog. She looks sweet. I wish I could adopt her, but I already have Princess and a asshole cat. Bri, you got Lily.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Rescue.
anybody, mine's a rescue too. If anybody, please adopt this dog because these dogs need it more because you never know their background. But a lot of these dogs are just kind of left because of what they are. They're bullies, and I mean pit bulls. They're bullies, but they need love too. And please hit them up there at the end. You can call them, you can follow them on Twitter, and you can catch them on Facebook. Please do it because they need help. And if you want to donate, I think Justin got hooked up with Beth. I will try to get Beth's number out on our Twitter and our Facebook pages. So that if you want to help donate and help out a little bit, please do so. Make that link shareable. I'm going to try to. Thank you, Liz. As you can see, I am not the most tech savvy guy here. That's where Craig comes in. But with the dog of the week, Craig and I are going to start doing a dog of the week. And this week we pick our dog from City Dogs of Cleveland and our one offensive and defensive dog of the week. And that'd be your Cleveland Browns. So, Brian, I'm going to switch over to you real quick.
Sure.
Give me an offensive and defensive player of the week, please.
Let me just start by saying my mother-in-law has a bulldog or a pit bull, and he couldn't be more sweet. So I think they get a bad rap. So go out, adopt Raina. She looks adorable. She looks like she'd fit right into your family. And let me roll that into, let me give you a couple guys. Offensively, I don't think there's any denying Demetric Felton was the guy that they tried to get involved as much as possible. And I can't wait. I'm excited to see what he can do in the future because he unlocks a whole different set for our offense because we can put him in the slot. We can run like bubble screens. We can run jet sweeps with him. And he has that speed to where he can get that edge and bust a big play. And he can do his damage only touching the ball a couple times a game. So it was nice to see that they made an effort to get him the ball. And hopefully sky's the limit. Get him the ball again this week. Get him the ball in preseason game 3. And let's see what he can do. Get him comfortable with the ball in his hands in the NFL. So he's the guy. He's the dog of the week. He's the guy I'm looking for. And I'm going to leave JOK for you on the defense, and I'm going to go Richard LeCount. Dude had an interception. He was a late round pick. I don't know. Was he a 6th rounder, maybe late 5th? Possibly.
I think it was 7th rounder.
I can't remember. He had a pick. He had a couple of breakups. And again, against third stringers probably. But it could turn out that we might actually need him because Ronnie Harrison dealing with a lingering hamstring injury. And we know that can linger for a month, maybe 6 weeks or something. So we might be counting on him. Grant Delpit, who knows what we have with him. LeCount, Sheldrick Redwine. We might need them at the early part of the season. So we need to get him up to speed very quickly. And he had a good first game, a good stepping stone to being a productive player in the NFL.
I'm going to go with you on my offensive dog of the week. I got to go with you with Felton. They're trying to do something special with this kid, and I don't know what it is yet because we haven't seen him in the backfield yet. We've seen him as a wide receiver and a little scat guy. But also, you got to throw in, they targeted him and Peoples-Jones a lot. Right. Like, so, and my defensive player, JOK, he played pretty much the entire game. And his speed is legit, people. And when I first saw him come out, I'm like, wow, he looks small. But he's one of those guys that looks small but carries a big stick, because he got bumped a couple times, and I never seen him move after that. Normally, like a wide receiver would push you over a little bit. No, he went low to the ground and moved. The one I told you about, Bry, was the screen pass where he just beat the defender there, and then next thing you know, he was right, or the blocker, and right in that receiver's face, and just speared him. Like, he has legit athletic speed, and I think the Browns got to steal in the second round, and I can't wait to see Grant Delpit hopefully soon on our wonderful, wonderful field, because I can't wait to see if he's actually healthy or not.
I couldn't imagine a better start for JOK. 8 tackles, 3 for loss, a sack, and he was just all over the place. And yeah, you're right. His speed is what pops on tape. And you probably could imagine that being an undersized linebacker going in the second round. You got to have something special about you. And it was apparent. I almost mistaken him for a defensive back wearing number 28, but
I thought it was
he doesn't tackle like a defensive back.
They're like, here he is. Here's Jock. And I'm like, just a little bit of more muscle. Like, but hey, it works for him and it makes him fast. And he actually, the other thing that was brought up was they flanked out a wide receiver on him throughout one of them. And granted, yeah, it's second team and it's preseason. We're getting all excited about this. But they asked him to cover the wide receiver instead of like switching off where he would actually go cover, the tight end or running back. He actually was on top of the wide receiver. That wide receiver made a catch, but he didn't go anywhere else. I mean, that's like his sure tackling right now. It's legit, Brian. I'm really excited. And you can't go wrong with what LeCount did also with the interception and a couple of pass breakups they had. It's weird talking about Browns rookies making an impact already, and it's just a preseason game.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and hopefully they recreate it this week. But it's what the Browns have been telling us that they want to do with their defense for the last couple of years. They want the front 4 to be stout. They want the back 7 to have a lot of speed. And we saw it last year when they drafted Jacob Phillips in the 3rd round. A lot of people wanted Malik Harrison out of Ohio State, and he went a couple picks later to Baltimore. But they wanted the speed guy. They wanted the guy, might not be big enough, 220, 225. And that's what they envision for their linebackers. They want them to be able to cover in past situations. And, hopefully Anthony Walker can handle the run stopping abilities. But JOK, Phillips, even Taki last year did a pretty good job covering the pass. So if that's what they want and they can put everything together, I mean, the sky's the limit for them. They might not be great big names right now. Even Mac Wilson is a tremendous zone coverage guy. So if we can get him back up to speed, back healthy, the defense is going to be exactly what we want it to be.
So with Mac Wilson, it is just a day-to-day injury. They did an MRI, everything came back negative. With Carlson, though, it sounds like an ACL, and he is done for the year. Also on injury reserve is Ryan Switzer with a foot injury from this game. But like you and I talked about, if you could come unscathed with just minor, now granted, Carlson is a big injury because I guess he played a lot of special teams. But if you can come out of the first preseason game without any major injuries besides that one, you got to take it as a bonus, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's why the Browns were hesitant to play any starters, because it's like the risk far outweighs the reward, especially with us being, for once, finally a veteran team with Super Bowl aspirations. And you don't want to blow it. You certainly can lose the season in August if you're not careful. So, yeah, maybe we see them this week, maybe we don't. But they're pretty confident in the guys that they got, and guys like Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb. We know what we have with them. They don't need to play a minute. And Myles Garrett is nursing that hamstring injury, which could kind of linger if you're not careful. So, yeah, let him sit on the bench, put bubble wrap around him, and let's hope to have everybody healthy for September 12th.
Okay, so Bri, it is time for our weekly Twitter poll. And I actually came out with this poll. Craig helped me out a little bit, but I came out with this poll. So let's play this little guy right here. Our Twitter poll is not sponsored yet, so if you want to sponsor us, you can go ahead. That'd be awesome. But if not, our Twitter poll was who in the tight end room will have the most receiving yards this year, Bri? So what do you think?
Do you want my guess, or do you want what I think the Twitter poll says?
Well, let's go with your guess. Let's get it into us first, and then we'll finish off the Twitter poll.
I go to the default. I go to who's starting, who's going to get the most playing time, and that's Hooper. He's not the most explosive, but he had a bit of a down year last year, and hopefully he bounces back this year.
Okay. I went with Harrison Bryant because I think he's going to have a breakout year this year if he gets a chance to, because they play a lot of three tight ends, but the boy has been catching some passes. Now, if he can hold on to them, that's a whole different story. But I already know the Twitter poll, so that kind of negates it for me.
Is it Harrison Bryant?
No, it's not Harrison Bryant.
Oh, okay.
So if you had to guess what the Twitter poll results were, who would you think that the Twitter poll? So we had 102 votes right now.
Okay.
All right. So right now the leader is at 45%. So who do you think is at 45%, Big Bri?
I kind of go along the same line of thinking as my wide receiver, and that would be just right down the depth chart. Hooper, Njoku, and Bryant.
Okay, well, the Twitter poll, and I don't have the fancy stuff to put up here, and I'm sorry, guys. David Njoku was first at 45%. Austin Hooper at 36%. Bryant at 17%, and then other at 2%. So unless Kareem Hunt is playing tight end, we'll see what happens. But that's where our Twitter poll landed. I mean, are you surprised that Njoku is first?
A little bit, but I can understand why people are excited about Njoku. And you go back to the last game that we saw the Browns play. David Njoku had a hell of a game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And he even made some plays against the Steelers. So he is the guy who flashes on tape. He's the guy that can take it 60, 70 yards for a touchdown. Hooper can't do that. Hooper's going to have probably more catches than him. But Njoku, he might disappear for a game or two, and then he might pop for 130 yards or something like that. And so maybe that is enough in the tight end room. But a little surprised, but I understand how people think that.
All right, so Liz said the Njoku showed up last year, and she said that Hooper is a dropper. So
isn't that funny how in 1 year's time we go from, Njoku can't catch a thing, and Hooper was catching something like 94% of the catchable passes in Atlanta when we got him, and it's just kind of flip-flopped after 1 year.
All right, so we're closing out the first preseason game. Is there anything you want to talk about for the first preseason game, Brian?
Not really. I thought the pass blocking from our second offensive line was pretty good, but the run blocking left something to be desired. They really didn't open a whole lot of holes. How many rushing yards do we have? Like
I think
20, 30?
It wasn't that. It was. I mean, we had what was it? Kelly, you said had 8 rushes.
Kelly had 8 rushes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to work on that, boys.
But the good news is we have the number 1 offensive line that didn't play, and we have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So not too worried about that.
That is true.
You know, they had a couple plays where it seemed like the screens were pretty effective. And I don't know if that's something that they'll take into the regular season.
Hey, other thing, our fullbacks got some love too.
Gotta love the fullbacks. Absolutely.
Love the fullbacks. Janovich had a couple catches. I think Stanton had a couple runs too. Did I not see a 40 break loose? I thought Peyton Hillis was on the field. And I'm like, that's not Peyton Hillis. And there was John Stanton just running down the field.
Put him on the cover of Madden.
Put him on the cover of Madden, people.
Why not?
All right, here's a good question. Liz, are we feeling better about Joe Woods?
I was never too down on Joe Woods. I just thought that he needed the right players in his system, and now he has it. I think the pressure's on him this year, but I don't think he's on too much of a hot seat. I give him maybe 2 more years to see if he can figure it out, but I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, you know something? If you think about last year and what Joe Woods did to just get us to where we were at, like, you know, we won a playoff game, everything else. He was playing with a whole different secondary than what he was supposed to start with. Garrett was out for how many games because of COVID? Mm-hmm. You had Vernon blown Achilles. I mean, if you look at just that piece of work and how he pieced it together, granted, it's not the defense they wanted, but he pieced it together enough to make us still formidable to get us to the playoffs. I mean, that's kudos. Tip of the hat, brother. I mean, because got guys like Tim J. Stewart, you got guys off the street playing quarterback at that point in time, and you just
turn Big Ben over 5 times with our backup secondary. So screw you, Pittsburgh. Right, and also, what people forget is, you know, Myles Garrett was hurt in the Kansas City game. If we have Myles Garrett and Olivier Vernon the way he finished the season like a monster, who knows? Maybe we win the Kansas City game. You saw the pressure that Tampa Bay put on Mahomes and made him uncomfortable and only gave up 9 points. If we could do that with our 2 stud defensive ends, completely different game.
Well, we should have done that with Chad Henne. Chad Henne. For those of you that don't know, Brian's a huge Michigan fan, and he
not a Chad Henne fan. Don't give me that. He
loves Chad Henne.
Yeah,
like him and Chad Henne are like this. Chad Henne and Tom Brady.
He was my Chiefs Chad Henne jersey.
Make a 3rd and 16. Come on, Chad Henne.
He couldn't even beat Ohio State. He's a bum.
Well, at least okay, we're there now. Liz says, I feel unimpressed, and I want him to motivate the players better. All right. I mean, I get it. I mean, this is kind of the first year where he actually gets to see his whole defense, though.
Yeah.
But, so Liz, this is okay. Why Michigan? Liz, this is a whole different conversation that we cannot get into.
I don't think we have time.
This is the Dawgs Table, but if you want to hit me up on Twitter at I am that fat guy, or on Facebook on the Dawgs Table, I'll mention it. He had a bad childhood.
I was dropped on my head as a kid.
Excuses. Yeah, as you can see, the other left. I got the reserve for a hot state over here. So, so Brian, let's move on a little bit. I got to get into position battles. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple of them rear their ugly head already. People are trying to say that I can't, Liz, I'm not bringing that up. Look. She says you're unloved.
Hey, I'll take any love. My Saturdays have been pretty rough the last 20 years. So
yeah.
I'll take all the love I can get.
we're going to go position battles. I mean, what are some position battles that you see coming up here? Because, like, for me, honestly, you got the kicker. I love the kicker battles with Cody Parkey and Chase McLaughlin or whatever the hell his name is. Also, the one that you got to really keep an eye on, and I'll say it here again a little bit later. There's a quarterback battle that you might want to keep an eye on.
Really? Backup quarterback?
Corner.
Corner.
Not corner.
I thought
And
you said
might as well throw in the backup quarterback too, because Kyle Letta played pretty good too.
He did, but they didn't pay Keenum all that money just to send him away.
All right. So Brian, what do you think position battles we got going on here?
I think the most important one, because with corner, you're right, there's a battle between Newsome and Greedy, but they're all going to play at some point, so it doesn't matter too. I mean, it matters a little bit. I think it'll kind of be fluid.
I think that's your starter, though.
Yeah, but it'll be fluid. If Newsome struggles, they're going to put Greedy in there, and if Greedy struggles, they'll put Newsome back in there, maybe, play Troy Hill a little bit more. I think the thing that goes underreported and the thing that makes me the most concerned is our kicking game.
Well, you don't like the kicker to begin with.
Well, no, I'm a big Cody Parkey guy. Don't say that.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Of course I am. I've stuck up for Cody Parkey for the last year.
Hey, guess who joined us again?
What's that?
We have BJ back.
Oh.
There he is.
What does he think?
Connection this time?
What's that?
Oh yeah, he does. So, who are your position battles?
Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum.
Okay, well, that's not the position battles. We were talking about the kicking battle and the quarterbacks.
It's going to be Greedy and help me out.
Newsome.
Greedy and Newsome. Everything else is basically set, isn't it? I mean, whether or not Delpit can get heavy, or he's not going to be back in time to even caught up, so he's not even in conversation right now. So yeah, I mean, really the only position battle that there really is Greedy and Newsome.
Okay, Brian, are you okay with that?
I think we still need to figure out exactly the two linebackers that are going to play. I think we're all pretty comfortable with Anthony Walker playing one of those positions, but who's going to be next to him? Is it going to be JOK? Is it going to be Mac Wilson, who's had a hell of a camp? Is it going to be Phillips, Taki? I don't know. And also a defensive tackle. We saw Billings a little bit, but I don't know. Malik Jackson is a veteran, so I would assume he'll start.
Well, you'd think so because they decided to bring him in, but they decided for that much, did they?
No, but he's the only veteran that you have. Togi played pretty well, but he's still very green. I don't know. Did you see? Was it Marvin Williams? Did you see Marvin Williams play at all?
Yes, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I got all excited about the
Bush
cowboy hat, the Bush latte coming out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. So, all right. So here we go. We're getting ready to go into. No, I got to figure it out. I got to look for stuff. All right. So we got the Giants coming in. All right. They're coming in for 2 practices and a game Sunday. So what are you guys expecting to see? And I'm going to go with BJ first because that Bush latte looks great. What are you guys expecting to see? Are you guys expecting to see starters? No starters? What do you think, BJ?
I think you need to see him for at least a series, right?
Depending on how the practices go, yes. I think a couple. I don't think we'll see Odell until week 1. Myles Garrett, I don't think we'll see until week 1. What about you, Brian? What do you think?
I would like to see him. I don't think we will, though. Just based on the fact that they didn't play anybody at all this first preseason game. I think they're they're to the point where they're not going to play their starters. They're just going to kind of coast until the first game, and it kind of proved to be poison for us last year against Baltimore. We got our asses kicked. So who knows if it's
after that though?
Yeah, right. But I would like to see them play at least a series or two, get their feet wet, get used to going through the routine. But if you get everyone healthy to the first week, I'm okay with that too.
Does it make you guys feel comfortable though? Like if the starters do sit out, does it make you guys feel comfortable that our entire offensive line and entire offense was the same from last year? I mean, BJ, that's got to be a bonus, right? Like they don't need time to gel because they've already gelled.
Yeah, I've never, ever, ever been this like just chill about the start of a season in my lifetime. Because I mean, and that's because the continuality of it.
Okay, Brian, what do you think?
Whole offensive line. They're saying we got the best offensive line in football. Our running backs are the same. We have a number 1, number 2, number 3 receivers back from next year. Our offense doesn't have an excuse this year to not perform.
Without a doubt. Yeah, you got your whole offense back. They're all veterans. Yeah, I don't know if I need to see anyone in the offense. I think we probably have 18 of the 22 starting positions that we're good with. We don't need to see them. There's a couple that need to be settled, but yeah, they're going to get what they need to out of this practice, this scrimmage with the Giants. And it sounds like sometimes these scrimmages are more valuable than a preseason game because they can go into different scenarios. They can do a 2-minute drill. They can do goal line that they might not necessarily get into during the game.
So, BJ, am I going to see you on Saturday? Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. So Saturday, for those of you that do not know, we are going to be doing a special show Saturday. I think it's at 7 for the Dawg Table.
My hometown, my local bar.
Is that your local? Is the Breakout, or what is it? What's it called?
Less than a mile from my house. That's my stomping grounds, man. I spend all winter.
Shoot.
If I have a Friday night off or Saturday night off and I don't work the next, don't have my girls, that's where I'm at.
Like, all right, so it's the Brick House Tavern in Sebring, right?
No, it's a Brick House Bar and Grill.
Brick House Bar and Grill in Sebring.
Brick House Bar. They're hosting the show. Craig went down, and the Ludden and his co-owner down there are big Browns fans. They're big Browns fans. They even have a big Browns flag hanging down there. They tried to start a Browns backers club years ago, I think, but just couldn't get it off the ground. But it's a great local small business, big support of the community. It's a great bar, and their burgers and pizza are phenomenal.
I know Craig told me I can't wait because I love food, obviously, and so does Brian. So I got to rub it in with Brian.
Face, of course I do.
Whenever they opened, and then they opened, and they only served pizza. Then they only served pizza and beer. Then they only served pizza, beer, and wings. They perfected each item before they brought it out.
Wow, that's awesome.
So Craig said, now I want to go.
You want to come?
I do. Well, you guys are doing your fantasy football draft, right?
It doesn't matter. I need your help anyways.
Yeah, I need
Well, turn on ESPN right now. They're doing their fantasy football marathon.
Yeah, I can't. I'm upstairs in Fat Boy Studios.
Well, it'll be on for 24 hours, so you got time.
Group, and I paid this guy $20, and he promised to help me.
How about this? I'll buy your dinner.
He didn't say he wants your help.
No, he wants.
My dinner?
Yeah.
No. How far is it?
Sebring, over by Alliance.
Okay.
7-2. Google it real quick.
We can talk. We can talk.
All right, where are you from?
Medina.
Oh, you're an hour.
No, that's not bad. You didn't say you buy my beer though. Maybe that can be our negotiation.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, we're going to do a special show. I still got to smooth things over with Craig and then Dave if he's still watching. If we can go a big play for it, but we'll find out. Let's get into here at the end. I got to bring up my banners. I'm sorry, guys.
Go for it.
just all right. So we have 2 preseason games, and we have training camp going on and everything else. What do you guys need to see going forward through these next few preseason games? And this is the thing that I brought up, because right now we've already had the first step for me was it's a professional team now. Okay, it is legit professional team. Like they just showed up. Okay, BJ's gone.
Pizza's
Brian, what
ready.
about you?
I feel like the offense, I'm good. I don't need to see much from them. The defense, it would just be nice to see some more consistency from the back 7, especially when it comes to pass coverage. I think we're good against the run, as we proved last year. Andrew Billings hopefully can be our run stopper. Togiai too. But other than that, yeah, we need to stop, because that's where it's going to come down to in the playoffs. I think against Josh Allen, against Patrick Mahomes, we're going to have to stop the pass. And so whether that means getting pressure on the quarterback or guys just covering him for 5, 6, 7 seconds at a time, I would like to see JOK, our young guys, LeCount, just continue doing what they're doing. Greg Newsom especially, because I think maybe he's the most important guy who's going to be playing a lot of time over the next 2 games.
All right, BJ, what about you?
I didn't miss the question.
What do you need to see going forward for this team?
I just want to see us continue to progress. I'm afraid of going backwards, and I think that's just a Browns fan in me. I'm not going to.
That's a Browns fan at all.
I want to continue to see Cody Parkey making kicks.
Amen.
Even if he doinks them.
I don't give a shit how they go in.
Yeah, the boy.
Right.
Davis, that's just win, baby, win. Just get it in.
Just win, baby, win.
Just get it in.
Because our whole season could come down to a Cody Parkey kick, and he's not hitting it from over 50. It was nice to see he hit a 48-yarder on Saturday.
We don't know what he can do.
I don't know. I wouldn't feel great him kicking over 50.
They should just sign Dawson to kick all the extra points. He wouldn't miss one.
Brian,
that's true. That's true. He could kick a 35-yarder.
He wouldn't miss one all season.
That's very true.
And then just
carry
find
2 kickers.
Anyway.
So, Brian, you and I both know a guy in purple that would love to kick for the Browns.
Have you ever tried to kick an extra point or like a field goal?
Hold on, from the 2-yard line or 35?
For anywhere in between. Like I kicked one time. I think it was a 30-yarder, and it took me about 10 tries to get it, but I finally got it.
I got it first try, but I pulled a hamstring and ass cheek, and I think I rolled my ankle.
Tell me you towed it like Lou.
Oh yeah, I towed it all day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're over 200 pounds, you got to tow it.
I towed that thing like you would believe.
Remember about 10 years ago, what was it? The Bengals kicker got hurt, and they said Ocho Cinco out there to kick it.
Right.
Was it Ocho that went out?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he hit it too.
He did. He's
a soccer player.
All right. So, BJ, before we kick you off here, you want to bring something to the table that we haven't talked about yet?
I've been sitting out. I got nothing. I'm just here to entertain you guys.
Oh, I love
Thank
it.
you, BJ.
Hey, we were only 10 minutes in, and we got hookers and blow. I love it.
Well, hookers and blow.
All right, Big Brian, you got something to bring to the table before I kick you off of here.
Well, I guess for the sake of eating up a couple minutes, I'll bring up the NFL Network Top 100. And we have Baker at 71. We had Jarvis at 94. And the top 40 is yet to be revealed. And who do you think? We're pretty sure that Garrett and Chubb are locks for the top 40.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else? Can you think of someone else that on the Browns roster that might crack the top 40?
So when you and I talked about it, I went with Kareem Hunt maybe at 40. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought up a very interesting guy that I completely forgot. Do you want to bring him up now?
Yeah, John Johnson. And the only reason I really brought him up was because I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, Pro Football Focus came out with their top 50 players in the NFL. And I think they had him 41, or maybe he was even higher. So we don't think of him as being like a top NFL player, but I don't know. He's something special. And the fact that we got him, what was it, 3 years, $30 million? $33 million?
That makes sure. Oh, Landry was
94.
94, and Baker was 71, right?
71. Yeah. So
So
my initial thought was John Johnson, but then I also thought, and you said maybe because he hasn't played enough games, Wyatt Teller. We talk about him being the best guard in the league last year.
well, we also brought up Denzel Ward too.
Denzel Ward, I don't know if he'd be top 40, but he probably should be top 100. Denzel Ward, Joel Bitonio's been in the top 100 in the past.
Conklin.
And yeah, I also brought up Conklin. He was first team All-Pro right tackle. So he's the best right tackle in the league based on last year. How does he not finish in the top 40?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's Cleveland disrespect, but I mean, if he's not in the top 40, he should have definitely been in the top 100.
All right, so Big Bry, but I'm kicking you off of here. You can catch Big Bry on a Legal Ham in the Face every Tuesday at 6 p.m. live. Also, we do an audio, put it out on Spotify, everything else. Any place you can find us, you can find us at Legal Ham in the Face. So he is my co-host. He is my big fella. I have a ginger and I have a big fella, and I love them both. So, Brian, thank you so much for helping me out today. I appreciate everything, bud. And I think we have another. What do we think about favorite player going to the Steelers? Oh, Joe Schobert.
Yeah.
Schobert. I'm okay with Schobert going to the Steelers. Like,
yeah.
did you hear the deal?
No, what
like
was it for?
Like a 6th-round pick, and I think the Jags are paying some money. That's what they think of Schobert.
Yeah, and he's not going to start for him because they have Devin Bush, unless Devin Bush is still hurt from last year. So he's just insurance policy probably for him. But hey, Nick Chubb can stiff arm him like he can Devin Bush too. It's all good.
That a boy. And as you say, as you're going out, pistol to Steelers.
Screw the Steelers.
Screw the Steelers. There it is. All right, let me kick you out here, bud. Have a good night.
God bless America. Say it.
God bless. All right, he is Big Bry. Thank you guys so much for the comments. Liz, thank you so much for chiming in. Anytime that anybody wants to come in and talk with us. And we are getting ready here at the end of the show. And I get my little here it is. Let me do this real quick. So I'm going to end the show with Fatty's Hot Seat. All right. So I do a hot seat every week of 3 things that you need to watch going forward for your Cleveland Browns. And first off, my number 3, and everybody else brought it up, watch out for the Greedy Williams, Greg Newsome battle at quarterback. I have a feeling that you're going to see a new starting quarterback starting for your Cleveland Browns. And I think it's going to be Greg Newsome. I think Greg Newsome is going to beat out Greedy Williams. Just keep an eye on that battle. For your New York Giants coming up, hopefully these practices are Baker Mayfield is not at the bottom of a pile of fat men fighting for some odd reason. Hopefully we get some good work out of this and we can move on forward and play the Giants and have a good time. And my number 1 thing to watch is, why don't you guys keep an eye on the Denzel Ward contract? We haven't heard anything this week. I have a feeling it's going to be done before the first game, but just keep an eye on that because after Denzel Ward, There's only 2 dominoes left to fall, and that's Wyatt Teller and that's Baker Mayfield. And you know something? Everybody can debate what the Browns should pay Baker Mayfield, but it's the eye of the beholder, and it's what the Cleveland Browns think, not what we think, people. All right? So thank you so much for chiming in, watching. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, at Big Play. Dave, thank you for helping me out tonight. And we have a special audio come out on Spotify, but we have a replay and all that stuff. That's fine. Please come eat at the Dawgs Table. Come eat with us and have a good time. And as we say at the end of every show of ours, go Browns. See you guys.